always witty in playing with the words. Very deep statements he makes. Even to imitate that is not so easy. Do not attach to facts. So we completed 3 verses, right? Where Parikshit Maharaj, what he is doing? He is expressing his eagerness to hear more about Krishna, and he is showing his efforts that, I may have given Mamata, but I have to give up this body. So I want to hear about Krishna more and more and fix my mind on Krishna more and more. So actually, this kind of deep feelings of dependence and humility are all throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. And you just studied the 4th chapter of Bhagavatam, right? 2nd canto. There is a profound chapter. What is that? 2.4, which you studied recently, means before this unit. This chapter is one of the most important chapters. Why? Because it is, what is the content of that? Yesterday, Radheshambhu was speaking about dependence on Krishna, right? So what it is speaking? 4th chapter of Bhagavatam, 2nd canto. What is the main subject matter? No, 4th chapter. First 3 chapters are establishing that. 4th chapter, yes, Prabhu, any online devotees want to say anything? What is the 4th chapter of 2nd canto? Essence of that, or what is the main content of it? Voice is little low. Okay, I will go. बताना पड़ेगा. Prayers of Shukadeva Goswami. So, at that stature of Krishna consciousness, he is preparing to answer the question. So, this is his dependence. Sometimes we know something device or something we have studied, we are eager to answer the question. अरे क्या है ये? मैं तो छोटा था सबसे ज्यादा. The mood of come on is low. For all it is like that. Only the Mukuto Priyavrat Naratu also has joined. Very. So, what I was telling? What I was saying? So the prayer device we when someone asks question, so how much dependence we feel on Krishna? So 4th chapter you see Parikshit how much Sukadeva Goswami is deeply depending on Krishna. He is saying, please ornament my words. Right? That the brilliant prayer towards the end. With rasa and shingar, etc. Right? So, is it okay? The sound is better now or?
Little better, Paji, better.
Little better, but you want more better. This is audible now?
Yes.
So that is dependence on Krishna. So it's not an artificial imposition they are putting. Like, many times we do Mangalacharan. Right? So this is Mangalacharan of Sukadeva Goswami. So how much his heart is there in Mangalacharan? And when we chant prayers, how much our heart is there? How much eager it is to think about what I will tell to the boys or whatever session we are giving. So Mangalacharan is not just Shishtachar, it is Sadachar, it's a feeling of the heart. So that's what we see here. Parikshit Maharaj is showing us, because he is in front of a person who is far more deeper Krishna conscious than himself. So he's telling, please tell. So same feeling will come towards the end of the chapter as well. So now next 3 verses, he is glorifying the process of Shravana. Now he told like Katha Lokas Mangala and all that. And now text 4. Shrunvataha, very important verse which you must have heard many times. Let's see the context of it. 8, right? शृण्वतः श्रद्धया नित्यं गृणतस्य स्वचेष्टितं कालेन नातिदीर्घेण भगवान् विशते हृदि. Yes, everyone can read translation. Persons ओके, कोई तो पढ़ो यार जल्दी, ऑनलाइन वाले पढ़ो, कोई ये देखो चालू करने के बाद आवाज आती है, पढ़ो कोई तो ऑनलाइन वाले. अरे
Yeah. Shall I read, Prabhuji?
yes bro, please read, don't need to ask.
Word by word meaning. Srinvata
No,
of both,
not word to word, this is not Bhagavatam class. And translation.
but you need to scroll down. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, manifested in their hearts within a short time.
Yeah. So very interesting translation. Srimad Bhagavatam regularly means again Nashta Pravishi Abhidreshi also Prabhupada says daily attendance in Bhagavatam class. So Prabhupada has established an institution where this system goes on. So he is putting that in translation. So it's very important. But how they hear? Regularly and always taking this matter very seriously. So once His Holiness Mahavishnu Maharaj was telling, so this one, I think Acharya Prabhu shared this very deep. He said, Mahavishnu Maharaj said that who is an advanced devotee? Advanced devotee is one who after hearing Bhagavatam class, 10 minutes thinks about it. And one who doesn't think is not advanced. Very deep. And same thing Radhesham who has put in another words, he says pre-Bhagavatam spirit, post-Bhagavatam spirit. So actually we have to see what spirit we have. Are we eager in morning program? Putting our heart and mind and intelligence in morning program, the way Radheshampur does. So that's the pre-Bhagavatam spirit. If that is there, then post-Bhagavatam spirit has some substance. Otherwise, it is more or less passion, which is not so bad, but it creates trouble for you and others. So it's very same thing. Always taking matters seriously. Not when great souls come and speak, take matters seriously. Always taking, because the subject matter is serious. And speaker man is not Tom, Dick, Harry. A management has put. Right? So we have to take it very seriously. Then what will happen? Krishna will manifest. And then you see word to word. So this Parampuja Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj disciples, they analyze the words. Now you Shraddhaya word means what? By faith. But what Prabhupada is translating? In earnestness. Word to word. So it's very unique. Earnestness means a very serious hunger. So sincere and very serious in intention. That's what Acharya is writing. Intention is very serious. And Granata has multiple meanings. So Prabhupada has made it to matter. Granata also is accepting. Granata. Or singing also. So many things. So Sanskrit has different words. So that's what is very, very important verse. Shranatah Shraddhaya Nityam. And Granatascha Swacheshti. Taking matters seriously, not for preaching or not for the boys, no, for ourselves. For myself, right now, I am like Radha Maharaj says in one lecture to so Anand who has just done operation and he enters after operation, just Bhagavatam has started. So as soon as he comes, Maharaj says, so his surgery was there and he has come. Let us welcome Anand Hari Ho. When he says, when we are sitting in Bhagavatam, we have to think like we are being operated by a surgeon. Serious surgery is going to happen without anesthesia. Like that we should think. He says in that lecture. So like that is the seriousness which Professor Radhanath Maharaj was saying. So that is the case. It's a very serious thing. Whosoever is there. And the more serious the doctor, more serious operation happens, provided you allow him to operate. If you don't allow him to operate, then you will just sit and go. That's all. So what Acharyas are saying, Krama Sandarbha, Shravanasya Prabhavam Aha. The influence of hearing is spoken now. Tat Prabhavat eva granatasya. Means because of the influence of Shravan, naturally one will chant. But Vishwanath Thakur is saying, Sopi Smarana Prayatna Shravana Kirtavanto Bhaktasya Na Avashyaka iti aha. So, see, the whole purpose is Anti Narayan Smriti. That's what he has heard, right? So now he wants to remember Krishna at time of death. So he is taking endeavors. So what Vishwanath Thakur says, that one who is Shravana Kirtavanto Bhakta is one who is engaged in Shravana and Kirtan. For him, Smaran endeavor is not separately required. Na avashyaka. Smarana prayatna na avashyaka. For whom? Person who is engaged in Shravana Kirtavan. Shravana Kirtanavanta means what? One who does. For him, Smaran is automatic. That's what is being said here. So don't. So that's what is implied here. And that's what Smaran means. Lord enters. So Srila Vishwanath Thakur says that Paramatma.
हे आपला भागवतम सेकंड कॅन्टो
Hare Krishna.
भक्ती वैभव ऑनलाईन यावेळेस स्पीकर
So what I was telling that yes, Paramatma is neutrally present, but Krishna enters because Krishna is Bhagavan. Bhagavan is not neutral, can never be neutral. Bhagavan cannot be neutral. So Bhagavan enters because one may say already Lord is there, why he has to enter? But Paramatma is there, who is neutral. Krishna enters the heart. So same thing you see is spoken in Shunvataha and the Swakatha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Rudyantastho hi Avadrani Vidunoti. So Rudyantastha is Smaran. Same thing is here. Smaran means Krishna is entering and he has having time to clean something. So both verses tell the same principle that Smaran is happening. Smaran is happening because Smaran means Krishna is present, and Krishna is present means he can't live in dirty place. He will start cleaning, he will start showing. Rather, he will start cleaning. That's what is said. Na atitirgena. And not so much. Kalena means after a period of time, but not so long. Krishna will enter the heart. So you see here very clearly mentioned. Effort in remembering Krishna is not necessary for a devotee who hears and chants. Hearing and chanting here indicates remembering. So Smaran has come. So same thing was there in Shravataha, Swakatha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtan. So Smaran happens, then purification happens. Because purification is done by purifying agent, which is Krishna, which Prabhupada writes in first hand. The purifying agent is Krishna. So you discuss any katha, any war, if Krishna is purifying agent, it will purify. That's what he writes in that context of first canto. Purifying agent is Krishna. So swaprayatnam vinapi Bhagwan swayameva hridayam pravishati iti Shravana Kirtana adhinam eva smaranam iti jnapita. Isn't it simple to understand? Swaprayatnam vinapi, there is no separate endeavor. Lord himself enters into heart. This is iti Shravana Kirtana adhinam eva smaranam iti jnapita. Means Smaran is completely dependent on Shravana and Kirtan. That is indicated. So that is what I was saying. Shravata, Swakatha Krishna. There also same principle is spoken. So Rudyantha stha means he stayed, means Smaran. And means Abhadrani Vidunut. He doesn't stay. till the time he gets, what is that? Tomara Hridaya Sada Govinda Vishram. So Vishram he can't do in unclean place. So he starts cleaning. Till the time it becomes Vishram place. And till the time you hold Smarak, it will happen. That's what is being spoken. But the point here is, he's hearing from a person who is carrying Krishna in his heart, like Shukdev. Okay? That's why Krishna is entering. And that's what Puthu Maharaj says. The saffron dust particles are coming out from the mouth of the pure devotees. Okay? So that's how it goes. So it's a mechanism, it's not just, what you can say, symbolic to say like that. It's a fact. So Prabhupada writes about second grade and third grade. Yeah, please read chief devotees, first part.
Chief devotees or materialistic devotees of the Lord are very much desirous to see the Lord personally without meeting the requisite qualifications. Thus, third grade devotees should know well that material attachment and seeing the Lord face to face cannot go together.
Yeah. So that's what their desire is to see, not to experience or like. And again, Prabhupada criticizes the professional man. And last highlighted portion you can read this Parikshit Maharaj personally recommends.
Parikshit Maharaj personally recommends that one hears Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, Nityam, always by one's own effort and with serious devotion also. That will help one to see the Lord Sri Krishna manifested in one's heart within no time.
Highlights.
The pseudo devotee, however, is very anxious to see the Lord according to his whims, not making any serious effort to hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, and with detachment from material benefit.
Yeah. So that's the problem. Quick result with material motivation. That is Sahaji. That's what happens. But what a serious devotee does, Parikshit, is recommending you hear regularly and always. So there is a difference, right? From regularly, we should move to always. That's what word meaning also is should. Nityam means both. Regularly to always. Like chant 16 rounds and then chant always. Something like that. Same thing. So yesterday only I received mail from Sundar Sham. We are discussing something now. So he said, Prabhupada has told constantly hear Srimad Bhagavatam and constantly chant holy name. So I am trying to understand this. I am doing PhD in this topic. Because both things Prabhupada is saying. Right? Many places he said, always chant Hare Krishna, always hear Bhagavatam. In one translation it is there. One should always hear Bhagavatam, one should chant always. In one translation. So Prabhuji is out of this very interesting thing. I am doing PhD on this topic. So there has to be effort put in here. That's what is by one's own effort and with serious devotion. So what is the difference here? One's own effort is to receive it in right spirit, with faith, with receptivity, and with inquiry, with humility. And serious devotion means what? Serious devotion means what we can say. If you see the next part where what is told, detachment from material benefit means what? We don't have any other desire. That I will get some information, I will get something new, I will get some masala, I will get some nice point. So this you may get, you may not get, but that is not the desire. That is all passion and not three modes. There is hearing in 9 types of hearing or all activities. So the goal is not like that. You may get it, there is no problem. You can have it also, but that is not the purpose. That is serious devotion. Like that. But pseudo devotee wants. Going further, Krishna in form of topics enters the lotus of the heart. How Saroruham through ears. Though Paramatma is always situated in the heart, he is neutral. So now he is saying ahead what happens after it. Bhagavan Vishade Riddhi. What happens after that? What is the topics? See, Vishwanath Thakur only say. Yes. That Harinam or Harikatha, that sound vibration. प्रविष्टकर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानां भावसरोरुहं धुनोति शमलं कृष्ण चलिलस्य यथा शरत्. Yeah, read the translation.
The sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Soul, that is Srimad Bhagavatam, enters into the heart of a self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of material association, such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus, it acts like autumnal rains upon pools of muddy water.
Yeah. So the power of purification is being spoken by Parikshit here. So Parikshit is very much aware about the potency of the process which he is into. Right? That's why he is speaking these verses. Right? The hearer is speaking these verses because he has experience of it before. Right? So it enters Pravishta Karnarandrena Swanam Bhava Saroruham. So Bhava Saroruham can mean his relationships with Krishna. He is already in some rasa. Prabhupada writes that. That's why lotus flower of loving relationship is written. So he cleans. Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna. So what he cleans? Shamal. Shamal is what? Material qualities like lust, anger, avarice, hankering, etc. And who cleans? Krishna cleans personally. It is his department. It is not our department is to hear. And his department is to clean. So how he cleans? What is the power and potency of cleaning? Parikshit Maharaj is giving one drishtanta. What is that? Salilasya athasha. So this is a very deep analogy which he is giving here. So many times water has to be cleaned. Right? So if you see autumnal rains, that rains, what happens after rainy season? There is all muddy water like tea right? Everywhere. But autumn rain happens, then water is crystal clear. And mass quantity of water, it is cleaned by autumnal rains. Not just one pot of water. Small pot of water you can put alum and everything settles down. But how much quantity alum you can use for purifying so many big reservoirs of water? So why this analogy is given? Because quality and quantity of purification is very deep, very quick and very effective. That's what Prabhupada explains in purpose. So if you use alum or some chemical, so it will settle down and little bit moves, again it will come out. But that doesn't happen for this. So other processes like yoga, jnana, they also purify. But their purification is very minimal and temporary. Quantity and quality both has problem in purification. Whereas the Katha purification, Sankirtan purification is very deep and great quantity it can have. That's why Tava Kathamritam and Bhuridajam. There what gopis are telling, these people are assassinators. Those who glorify you by your katha, this slaughter people's material life. Tava Kathamritam. So they are what? So they are comparing because it's very powerful purification. Anyone hears Krishna Katha properly, material life is over. So gopis are also aware about it. So that's what is the power of purification of bhakti, especially hearing Harikatha here in this context. Yes,
But you told other processes what they do.
hi, it will come in purport, it will come. Then you can ask. This is all purport. I'm just summarizing before. So this Salilasya Atha Sharad is very important analogy. So Harikatha, Hari Kirtan can purify the so much large quantity of people simultaneously. And that purification is also quality wise very wonderful. Like gold has to be purified, then you cannot put under water. right? This example is given in 11th canto. Put 1 ton water with full force, it will not get purified. Maybe some mud will go away, but inside things won't get purified. But it has to put in fire. So bhakti is like that fire. So something will get purified by bhakti only, not other processes. So there is so many verses in Bhagavatam which say that. So that's what is said in this. So you can see here. This implies that Krishna entering through ears attaches the jiva to himself. So this is not neutrality. Krishna is attaching you to him. Can you imagine? That's why the very first verse of Bhagavatam is speaking this. Sadhyo Ruddhi Avaruddhyate. Capturing Krishna in heart. Can you imagine? So that is the power of this process. So Bhava indicate relationship of Dasya and Sakya, as I was telling you earlier. So Prabhupada also writes. So he raises a question, okay, purification happens, not so remarkable. Jnana Yoga also can do purify. But Jnana Yoga purifies some people, but not all. And even then, not completely. And then he quotes, to some degree they purify. And this nice verse, 1635, which we learned. So this is told by whom to whom? This is Narada Muni speaking to Vedvyas. This verse, Yamadivir Yoga Pathe. So, but Krishna, just by entering, purifies everything with no impurities remaining. That is the meaning of the example. So now you see, Praveshe Sati tu Mad Bhakti Yukta Bhuvanam Punat. So there is nice verse in 11th canto. That one who is possessor of my bhakti, he purifies the 3 worlds. Bhuvanam Punat. Iti Nyayena Tat Sambandha Paramparaya Jagadapi Punati. Sa Bhagwan iti aha pravishtai. So this is what Prabhupada is saying below. Please read that. Jiva Goswami. Kram Sandarbha. Below. Purport. Prabhupada is beginning with Jiva Goswami. And he has done it. Yeah.
It is said that a single pure devotee of Lord can deliver all the fallen souls of the world. Thus, one who is
Actually, in confidence.
actually
That read, I'm sorry. Yeah, you read that. Actually, in confidence.
in confidence of a pure devotee like Narada or Sukadeva Goswami, and thus is empowered by one spiritual master, as Narada was by Brahmaji, can not only deliver himself from the clutches of Maya or illusion, but can deliver the whole world by his pure and empowered devotional strength.
So this Prabhupada has done it, but I think in second canto, he has gone there and second canto has started writing there. So it is manifesting slowly, slowly what he has written. One person. But what is the power here? He has confidence on pure devotee. So that confidence, that reverence, that respect, that is what is important. That's what Haldar Maharaj was saying. That Mahat Buddhi has to be developed actually towards our spiritual master and spiritual masters. We don't know who are they and what they are capable of. That's why we don't offer them ourselves fully. We don't know how much powerful they are. Simply by seeing you, they can raise you to Prema Bhakti. This is what Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj said. Anyone who has love of God, simply by seeing, without even instruction, he has power to raise you to Prema Bhakti. That power is there. But are we like that? Feeling that yes, yes. So that Mahat Buddhi, Ijja Buddhi, you have heard this Atma Buddhi, Mahat, Ijja Buddhi and Tirtha Buddhi. These are deeper and deeper levels of respect. Like what Aldar Maharaj recently came and sharing that we have to move. Yesterday, like here we can see, we have to see our spiritual master as the greatest Vaishnava. This is one level of respect. But ahead of that is Yasya Deve Para Bhakti Yatha Deve Tatha Guru. So as much we worship Krishna, that much worship we offer to Guru. This is second level of respect. The highest level is Sakshadharitva, as good as Krishna. So this kind of reverence has to awaken. That much, that is what is meaning of Mahāpada Rajobhishekam. That we are completely attracted and inspired and their Vaishnavatva of that Vaishnava. So that's what that without that Mahat Buddhi, we cannot receive what they can give. So Atma Buddhi means one level respect. Ijja Atma Buddhi means you respect as it behooves. Whatever. Ijja Buddhi means worshipable. You understand? Parama Pujya. We say Shriman, Shriman Krishna Kirtan Prabhu. Shriman. But Parama Pujya Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So there is a difference of respect, isn't it? Whereas Tirtha Buddhi means what? You don't use worshipable. You see him like Tirtha means Bhagavad Bhagavata Tirtha Buddha Swami. He is a holy place. This is the degree of respect which has to grow in our heart. This is not external. This is something which you have feelings towards. So that's what he had. So tat sambandha paramparaya jagadapi punat. So that confidence Prabhupada had on parampara. So he took that and then he purified the entire world. And he saw that, right? On the Jalduta, all parampara is supporting him. etc. So he had that faith. So he can purify the whole world. And Prabhupada said also, I am just one old man, all of you can do more than me, something like that, right? So then Prabhupada explains all that analogy which I already explained. So this is alum. And this already I told you. Devotional service to Lord is so powerful that it can cleanse the hearts of people in general by devotional service of the pure and empowered devotee. So point here is the purification is coming from pure devotees. Their Harinam and Harikatha. It is not the personal practice only of that person. It is of coming from pure devotee. And that's what is the power. Because Krishna is there. Krishna is there in their life. So that's what Srimad Bhagavatam one realized. So this is Bhava Saroruha. This last and Sakya he explains how it happens. So yeah, you can read this not only onwards.
Not only were all the pure devotees like Narada self-realized souls, but they were engaged in preaching work automatically by spiritual impetus, and thus they delivered many poor souls entangled in the material modes.
एक मिनट authorities calling. Sri Chaitanya. Sorry. Yeah. How you read that? How also you read?
How I did?
Read.
How? They became so powerful because they sincerely followed the Bhagavatam principles by regular hearing and worshipping.
I have.
By such actions, the accumulated material lust, etc., become cleansed by the personal endeavor of the Lord within the heart. The Lord is always within the heart of the living being, but he becomes manifested by one's devotional service.
So you see, Prabhupada is telling that spontaneously they engaged in preaching, but how? They followed the principles of Bhagavatam, hearing and worship. And then Krishna came. So Prabhupada is elaborating that what is happening. So this already I told you. Only method. Last line you can read. Devotional service to the Lord.
Devotional service to the Lord with specific attention for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and always is the best recommended method for liberation from the clutches of illusions.
So you will see this in second canto at least 10 times because it's Sadhan Patha. At least 10 times you can see this. This is sadhana emphasized, the power of Bhagavatam. This is the door. Once you take this seriously, then entire cantos will do whatever they want to do. Regularly, best method recommended for liberation. Okay. Now, what happens to a person who is fully pure in heart? He never gives up Krishna's lotus feet in any condition. That's the next one. Dautatma Purusha Purna Padamudam Namunjati Mukta Sarva Pariklesha Pantha Swasharanam Yatha. Translation.
A pure devotee of the Lord whose heart has once been cleansed by the process of devotional service never relinquishes the lotus the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, for they fully satisfy him. And a traveler is satisfied at home after a troubled journey.
So he's giving an example. That this is how he will never give up. So here Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that there is one yogi who is called most unfortunate yogi in third canto by Kapil 328-34. So that yogi, what he does, he sees Paramatma, he cries tears, but after that he gives up that Paramatma because he wants Siddhi. So that doesn't happen to this devotee because that his heart is still framed. That's what you will learn in fourth chapter or third chapter. Tadashmasaram hridayam madhiram. So there also this verse is quoted. Steel framed heart means this because his heart is like hook. The Lord is being used. So that's what this person is not like that. This person describes a yogi who thinks that he has a pure heart, not a person with pure heart. Many times this thing comes. A person who knows Krishna never says, I know Krishna. Who think they know Krishna say, I know Krishna. The same thing, this person. Prabhupada also says that. So Prabhupada takes this point and ahead he says that never gives up lotus feet means what? Such purified person will undergo a lot of difficulties like Jesus Christ, Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu. They were attacked but they never gave up preaching Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada is following their footsteps. Because difficulties come, then they leave. So that doesn't happen. Because they are experiencing the nectar of lotus feet of God. Otherwise, why they will not give it? Right? So that is the case. So that's why you see in these three examples what are given is what Jesus Christ, Nityananda Prabhu and Prahlad. So what is the example? Is forgiveness. They have unlimited forgiveness in their heart because of their love. So that's what that is the wealth of a true Brahmana, as told in Bhagavatam. 7 times 7 you forgive. So forgiveness is not so easy. It's easy to say I forgive you, but actually to forgive a person is not easy. So such person can do it because he is embracing the lotus feet of God. Right? Pada Mulam na manchati. So this is because pure devotee of God is so purified in his heart that he cannot leave the shelter of Krishna in any circumstance. And there is no self-interest. Right? Whereas jnanis or yogis, so they do some sadhana and they give up the sadhana. But bhakti is not like that. So that's what Prabhupada is saying from Jiva. They do some sadhana, but they give up. Na? When they attain perfection, they give up their sadhana. So that bhakta doesn't do. And what is their quality? Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chityate Koriya. So again Prabhupada is pointing the faith on spiritual master and taking the words of order of spiritual master as sustenance of life. This is what Prabhupada was inspired by, right? By reading Vyavasayatmika Buddhi of Vishwanath Chakravarti. Same thing he is writing here. So a practitioner of pure devotional service, his greatest principle in life is Guru Bhakti. He will never budge an inch from that. So that's what is being said here in many places also. A pure devotee of Lord is exactly in family tie with Lord and therefore is undeterred in discharging his duty in a full affectionate tie with Lord. So he is completely bound with the Lord in relationship. So that's why he has no trouble. So having said this, first 3 verses he explained his eagerness to hear Krishna Katha, his endeavor, his seriousness, and then the glories of Harikatha. The glory, the potency and the potency of purification of Harikatha. Now he is asking questions from 7 to 23. So now we'll go through quickly, maybe the first purport and the last purport. 7th and 27th purports are very powerful. The Prabhupada is writing importance of inquiry. Saddharma Puricha. Oh, very important. ये लगा सकते हैं कि yeah 7 to 23 are the questions. So anyway, we will go. So questions will go little quickly. I'll just mention few things. So before that, anyone has any comment, question, clarification about what is already said? Online, offline. Any quick things anyone has? Okay, so let us go
हरे
ahead.
कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Yes, Narayana Thakur.
So ये somewhere in the purport it comes that when you do Shravan and Kirtan, remembrance follow. So the remembrance is the manana part. If I am right, then sometime it is said that yes, although someone heard, but they are not done manana. It is said like that. But somewhere in the purport it is written the commentary that when you Shravan, it's Shravan, hearing and chanting, the automatically devotee need not to do manana or remembering. It will automatically happen. It is written somewhere in purport commentary. So what is exactly?
See, that's why I showed you that the prabhav of Shravan is told, and then that leads to Grahan. Grahan means Kirtan. So when you are asked to speak something, don't you remember? Without doing Smaran, can you speak?
Sometimes, for example, in sometime in Dundugari's case, they are said that Dundugari and Gokarna did katha, so the villagers did not hear, did not do
Yeah,
manan.
correct,
But
correct. So, yeah, that
what is that?
is spoken in a context, very correct. That whole night after Katha is over, he is not preaching, he is dying himself. What preaching he will do? Dundukari's condition you understand. He is not having gross body, what to speak of mouth to preach. He is in artha condition and he is hearing and taking the subject very seriously. So he is doing manan. But those who are sitting in front of him, they were not so serious. They were not sleeping, they heard also, but night they went and slept because there is no difficulty for them. But Hindukar is what the
Speaker, what he is speaking, we are not able to hear. So,
So, Dundukari's case is specific, and there we can importance of Manan is there. So, what is said here by Srila Jiva Goswami, I will show you that. Shravana Kirtavanta Bhaktaha Smarana Prayatna Na Avashyakata. So, one who is engaged in both, for him, Smaran separately is not required. There is not required now. There is no endeavor to do Smaran separately. Na avashyak. That is the point. Whereas Dundukari's case is he has no body to preach. Although his mind might be saying, I don't know what he was feeling. But so you understood the difference, Prabhu? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And
what is Manan actually? Manan, technically the Manan is defined in Bhagavad Gita 12.8. Mayyeva mana adhatsva, mayi buddhim nivesha. Nivashisyasi mayyeva atavadho na samsha. So highest thing is mayyeva mana adhatsva. But that is the Premi Bhakta. But lower than that is use your buddhi to fix mind on Krishna. So there Manan is defined. What is Manan? Repetitive contemplation and reflection on the statements of Bhakti scriptures. This is Manan. Okay. And of course those statements are spoken by the great souls. They don't speak themselves because they just repeat Bhakti Shastra. So Manan is that process where repetitively you think, my Lord, today Prabhuji told this. What a statement, just to contemplate on that. Just one statement every day. Can you imagine what can happen? Like that day, this guy Radha Gopinath Prabhu. What the end statement of the Bhagavatam class was like powerful. Anyone remembers that statement? It went like operation. Anyone heard that class of Radha Gopinath Prabhu, the last? Very nice question one devotee asked. And Radha Gopinath Prabhu explained so beautifully. And at last he said, what a statement, you know. हमें क्या मांगना चाहिए ये जानने के लिए भागवतम में बैठो. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. So what we should be asking, what we should be praying for, to know that you sit in Bhagavatam. And that's how we ended. After speaking a wonderful thing, you can hear that question answer at least. Such a brilliant, my Lord, amazing. So such statements, jewel-like statements come out from such great souls. Right? So that is called Manan. And now, after remembering and contemplating, now I am sharing with you. That is what? Kirtan. So Smaran happens automatically. More Smaran happens. So that way. Okay. Anything else? Yes. Mike.
Now we were discussing about the self-realized devotees always focused on lotus feet of them.
Yes.
At the same time, practicing sadhana, they are
Oh, correct. So what is the question?
they to show others in the practice.
Yeah. So what is your question? So this verse is not speaking about. This verse is speaking about people like Jesus Christ, people like Nityananda Prabhu, people like Haridas Thakur, right? So it's very clear they are perfected devotees. So what is your question? What is the question? I'm trying to understand.
And here they are experience sadhana means they are also practicing sadhana.
No, I am not able to understand what you are saying. We are just trying to understand what Prabhupada is saying, right? And Prabhupada is bringing it for us. Prabhupada himself lived like that, but he is bringing for all of us also. What we should be doing, right? That take up the order of Guru as sustenance of life. Now this applies to Jesus Christ, yes. It applies to sadhaka, yes. Right? Prabhupada is saying, yeah. What they followed is what we have to follow. That's what bhajan kriya is, that one. They do bhajan, we do bhajan kriya. We do the same things as a sadhana. There's no difference. Same thing what they do, we do. So that's how Prabhupada is saying it. So does that make sense?
Yes.
And end will be. That's what is the beauty of bhakti, that actually the perfected person and sadhaka, they apparently do the same things. Only thing is the difference is there in the action, the way they do it, the intention of their intensity, etc. Okay. Anything else? Okay, so let us go ahead. So next section is from 7 to 23. So it's a set of questions. So now what is happening is tadevam tat katha shravana utsukyam swanishtham cha avishkritya. His interest and in Shravan, and it hits faith on the same after advertising that, expressing them. Now let others also know the foundations of anan api arthan anena bhagavad pradhanataya prochamanam annesham tat upayogita tad bodha saukareya syaditi pruchhati yaditi adivi. So he's asking from 7 to 23. So just read English. English is easy. Here you can see here. Yeah, this you can read. Okay, here it's not visible. I'm just reading English of Labhanu Maharaj. Showing his eagerness to hear about the Lord, he asks about the other topics predominated by the topics of the Lord. Okay, so now there will be many questions and they will be about other subject matters, not directly per se about the Lord, like time, karma, varna, ashram, so many questions, but predominated by topics of the Lord, which will assist others in understanding the Lord. He asks about Jiva to indicate the eternality of Lord's form and abode. So this is what is the link given by Srila Jiva Goswami. So I am just showing you because what now these contexts are very important. So you see this is what Bhanu Maharaj translates. What I just now read in Sanskrit, that is what is here. Showing his eagerness to hear about the Lord, he asks about other topics predominated by the topics. What is the purpose? Which will assist others in understanding the Lord. So, upayogita for others. And now the first subject matter is the difference between Jiva and the Lord. Right? So that's how he begins. So that's the section context given and the intention of Parikshit is given. So it's not that he doesn't know. But he's asking for two purposes. He wants to know from Shukdev Goswami's mouth because it will be deeper and clearer than what he knows. And for sake of, there is so much assembly sitting there, right? So for sake of them also. Like that for both he is asking. Anyesham tat upayogitaya tad bodha saukaryaya sya. So now first inquiry about the Lord Jiva difference. Right? So that already I told, that is from 7 to 9. So this is the big section where we can understand the importance of Sattvarma. Very important purpose. Yadhatumato Brahman Deharam Bhosya Dhatubhi Yadrichaya Hetunava Bhavanto Janati Yatha. Yes.
All Reverend Brahman, the transcendental spirit soul is different from the material body. Does it acquire the body accidentally or by some cause? Will you kindly explain this? For it is known to you.
Yeah. So he is asking about this. That how does a spirit soul get the body? Does it come by accident or not? So now you see what Vishwanath is writing. Please read this yellow portion.
Having expressed his enthusiasm for hearing about Krishna, the first form of pure bhakti, that he cherishes, Parishit Maharaj inquires about subjects to the extent that they will contribute to the accomplishment of the goals of pure bhakti. These questions continue till the end.
So you see the again context is given. This is even more deeper than what you Goswami said. Right? So he is asking the information which will contribute to practitioner of pure devotional service and mixed devotions. So subjects to the extent. So not directly only about Lord, but other subjects also, like Varnashram, etc. So now Prabhupada in his purport, okay, this is what Prabhupada explains. You read this first from Vishwanath Chakravarti. Very important this is. Please hear attentively. Wherever, yeah, please read.
Wherever even a trace of bhakti appears, it should be established without aparadh. Otherwise, bhakti devi will not show mercy. It is shown here that one should desire to know about examples and more examples of bhakti performed by pure devotees who are fixed in and cherish hearing and chanting about the sweetness of the Lord for the purpose of producing prema.
Yeah. So it is shown here what that one should desire to know the practitioners of pure devotional service. How did they practice? How they were fixed in? How they cherished hearing and chanting about the sweetness of Lord? So how they performed their pure devotional service? So that desire to know is very important. You see that everywhere. The beginning of Bhagavatam itself, you see that, right? Ved Vyas is asking Narada, what did you do after they left? And then Shaunakadi Rishi is asking Sud Goswami, what did Vyas do after Narada left? Right? So how did they practice what they heard? Right? So that's what is one should desire to know. What is the purpose? To produce the same what they experience, the love of God. And that should happen without aparat. So Prabhupada has taken this point and written in a very unique way in his part. So we'll see that. Now you read this. So both acharyas things he has taken. This is Jiva Goswami. Yeah,
Maharaj Parikshit,
you can read that part. Yeah, I will read that portion.
being a typical devotee, is not only satisfied.
Sorry. Yeah.
Maharaj Parikshit, being a typical devotee, is not only satisfied by confirming the importance of hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam from the representative of Brahmaji by disciplic succession, but he is still more anxious to establish the philosophical basis of Srimad Bhagavatam.
For others in future, like that I have written. Yeah, read on.
Srimad Bhagavatam is the science of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as such, all questions
That may arise.
that arise in the mind of a serious student
Must be clear.
must be cleared by the statements of the authority. A person on the path of devotional service may inquire from his spiritual master all about the spiritual position of God and the living beings.
So see, so clearly Prabhupada is saying, all questions that may arise, may not have arisen, but may arise in future of a serious student. So this serious student Prabhupada uses many times. Serious student would do well to go through the commentaries of previous acharyas. Serious student through go to Vishwanath Chakravarti and like that. Must be cleared, is because doubts are like demons. Samshayatma vinashit. So that's why he's saying must be cleared. And how it should be cleared? Not through speculations of anyone, from authority. So that's why Parikshit is eager to establish the philosophical basis of Bhagavad. Let's see, this is science of God. Right? So this is very important that any question comes in our mind or heart, we can express to someone. Don't keep it. Because it has to be cleared. Right? So that is first part Prabhupada is establishing. And now you see, but what are the causes of material embodiment? Okay, that is about the question he is asking. The difference between Lord and living beings. Actually, that is the three questions Prabhupada is taking here. In this verse, this question is not asking. This verse is asking about how material body one gets. Right? But Prabhupada is taking right because he's reading all the commentaries, right? So he's putting it here. Right? So, but what are the causes of material embodiment of part and parcel of Lord? So that is this verse. This verse is speaking about that. Maharaj Parikshit inquires about this very important matter for benefit of all classes of candidates on path of self-realization and devotions. So mixed devotees and pure devotees, or other spiritual practitioners also. He is asking for their sake, not that he has a problem. Right? Now you see, this is very important. Please read it. In the process of
devotional service, the first step is to take shelter of the spiritual master and then inquire from the spiritual master all about the process. This inquiry is essential for immunity to all kinds of offenses on the path of devotional service. Even if one is fixed in devotional service like Maharaj Parikshit, he must still inquire from the realized spiritual master all about this.
yeah. So imagine, sadhaka also should inquire. Siddha also must inquire. Like the purpose. Because he wants to make others siddhas. He knows what are the questions in others' hearts. Right? That's why Shamanakadi Rishi is asking. So still inquire. So here the most important point is inquiry purpose is what? What is the purpose of inquiry? As told by Prabhupada here. Yes?
Immunity from offenses.
Yes. Immunity from offense. It is not remedy of offense. Immunity means beforehand only you become immune. Remedy means after doing. So inquiry is not for information. Inquiry is not for inspiration. Inquiry is not for getting some insights. It may be, may not be. The most important part of inquiry is you will become offenseless. That's what Prabhupada is saying. That's what Vishwanath said, right? So Prabhupada is putting in a very different way, right? That there should not be trace of aparat because Bhakti Devi. So Prabhupada is putting this inquiry is essential for immunity to all kinds of offenses. Yeah? So there are different kinds of offenses, but that's what purpose Prabhupada is writing here. So when I read that, I was like very happy to hear that statement. So next day morning, I was sharing Radhesham somehow. So I just shared that while sharing. Prabhuji, too, yesterday I read this chapter and power of inquiry. I was shocked. What a statement Prabhupada is writing. Then I shared this statement. Prabhupada says this. He said, yes, it's very simple. He said, one who has inquiry is always thinking about inquiry. He is always thinking about inquiry. So for him, what is happening around us, who has done what is happening, it doesn't much affect him because he is thinking about it. That's why there is no question of offense. So that was Prabhuji's explanation. I was wondering, very amazing it is. And that's why seekers of absolute truth are never allured by the something like the allurements of sense gratification or something like that. Prabhupada says, Kamasya Nendriya Priti Labho Jiveta Yavata. In that purport, they are overwhelmed in researching the truth. And by that they experience bliss or something like that. So that is the scheme. We have to become seeker. And our absolute truth is Sri Krishna and Vrindavan. There is no end to trying to know him more and more. And Prabhupada writes in 934 purport, Man Manad Bhavat Bhakti. One should cultivate knowledge of Krishna constantly. Prabhupada says that. So, that is one thing. And here, inquiry can be done for different things. But the more amazing effect is immunity of offenses. So many times, without inquiry, we commit so many offenses. To the person who is inquiring, to the person whom they are inquiring, to our own thought process, so many offenses happen. But inquiry is done in a sabha, then so many things can be avoided. Simply by honestly expressing it. That's what is spoken here. So immunity from offenses. In other words, now see Prabhupada is writing purports for disciples and gurus. So now next part is for spiritual masters. Please read. In other words,
the spiritual master must also be well versed and learned so that he may be able to answer all these inquiries from the devotees. Thus, one who is not well versed in the authorized scriptures and not able to answer all such relevant inquiries should not pose as a spiritual master for the matter of material gain. It is illegal to become a spiritual master if one is unable to deliver the disciple.
yes. So this is actually the same thing is written in Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta Vyasu Sheyamuttamam Shabde Parecha Nishnatam Brahmani Upasanach. And purport of Sri Vishwanath Thakur says that the Guru has to satisfy the disciple by answering his inquiries. That's why he keeps his faith. Otherwise, he becomes disturbed. Right? He cannot answer them. He cannot help the disciple uplift. So that's what he's writing. So both sides he's writing, like NOD Prabhupada writes, both sides. So it's all very important. So this is the first question, and then Prabhupada is writing from both acharyas. The importance about immunity and importance of necessity of inquiry. That may come, will come, should be asked. And even if sadhaka, siddha should be asked. Because the questions about Krishna, the hearing and chanting of only questions of great souls are delivering the people. like that is spoken. Right? That's why it's important. So going further now we go very far. So now, as I told, 7, 8, and 9 is about Lord and Jiva. So Jiva's question was there now. How did Jiva got the material body, etc. Now it is asking about Lord. आसीत् यदुदरात् पद्मं लोकसंस्थानलक्षणं यावानयं वै पुरुषः यत्तावयवै पृथक् तावानसाविति प्रोक्तः संस्थानवयानिव.
If the Supreme Personality of Godhead from whose abdomen the lotus stem sprouted is possessed of a gigantic body according to his own caliber and measurement, then what is the specific difference between the body of the Lord and those of common living entities?
Yeah. So he has heard about avayavas in that previous chapter. He has heard about universal form, right? So Brahmaji said that I worship the Lord by his own avayavas. That will come in your 4, 5, 6 chapter. Based on that, he is asking this question. But okay, you said that Lord is transcendental, and then means the lotus comes and Brahma comes. So Brahma is matter. Then what about the Lord's body? You said he also has the limbs. Brahma also has limbs. Then what about his body? That's what is being asked. What is the specific difference between body of Lord and common? Because he has said he also has avayav, he also sleeps, he has hands, legs, and Brahma also. Then what is the difference? That's how he is asking. So Prabhupada writes that only. It's a scientific and one should note how Maharaj Parikshit intelligently put questions before his spiritual master for scientific understanding of transcendental body of. Right? So he is putting questions so that Lord's transcendental body can be clearly understood by the everyone, including himself. So then three Vishnus he is explaining. So very nice. I read those two statements, not just by size. Yeah.
A living being and Lord cannot be distinguished simply by the difference in the magnitude of the body. So the answer depends on the specific significance of the body of the Lord as distinguished from the body of the common living being.
So this is Mayavad Khandan happening here. Right? Mayavadis have this problem on them, and even impersonalists to that extent. Mayavadis many, so they don't accept. So that's what first question is that. Now you read the question, right? Next verse translation.
Brahma was not born of a material source, but of the lotus flower coming out of the navel, the abdomen of the Lord. Is the creator of all those who are materially born. Of course, by the grace of Lord, Brahma was able to see the form of the Lord.
Yeah. So he's saying, you told me about Brahma. So Brahma saw the form of Lord by mercy of the. So if there is a difference, then how did Brahma see that form? Like Adhokshaja means what? We cannot see with our material vision. And how did Brahma saw? So you understand how they are connected, the question? That way he see. Certainly you should explain the difference. Because you told me Brahmaji, earlier he was not able to see, and then he saw. I think that also comes there. Is the form of the Lord similar to that of material body of Brahma, or is it different? That you should explain. So that also. So last part you read. Whether the form.
The form seen by Brahma is of the same quality as that of Brahma is a bewildering question. And Maharaj Parikshit wanted to get clear answers from Sukadeva.
Yeah, because Brahmaji's body is material. The Prabhupada is saying. So now that first question is over. Now second kind of set of first question you can say. Now the next question begins. So he is asking about Purusha Avtaras. Yeah, please read the translation.
Please also explain the personality of God who lies in everyone. Every heart has a super soul and has a lot of all energies, but is untouched by his external energy.
So please explain this thing about Mahavishnu, Shivalaksha Vishnu, etc. So that's what Prabhupada is writing. Next.
O Lord Brahmana, it was commonly explained that all the planets of the universe with their respective governors are situated in the different parts of the gigantic body of Virat Purusha. I have also heard that different planetary systems are supposed to be in the gigantic body of the Virat Purusha. But what is their actual position? Will you please explain that?
So this you have heard where this was spoken in the very first chapter, right? So he is referring to all that. Second canto, first chapter. He is referring. Now he is asking about universal form. Can you tell about that? How exactly it is? What is universal form? Previously asked about Purusha Avatar. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says about these questions. He makes some, and here the very important verse is that how important is to know the Sushti Leela. Because Sushti Leela knowing means knowing three Vishnu's activities. And knowing three Vishnu's activities means you will become liberated. That's what verse is quoted. Tane Gyato Vimuchyate. So you see, the 5 questions are suitable for Shanta and Dasya. So that's how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, as he has categorized earlier, that he is asking questions which will be suitable for mixed bhakti practitioner and Shuddha bhakti practitioner. So now he is categorizing. So this is for Shanta and Dasya bhakti. This is for Mishra bhakti. Like that he says.
That Purusha thing also for Shanta and Dasya.
Yes. Because they grow there, no? First step in God realization. Gradually they grow. Of course, they come in touch with devotee, then only they can grow. Otherwise, they will attend Savitri Murti. So he is saying all 5 from beginning, not just this Virat Rupa, this verse, but previous 4, all that he is putting together. I also asked about totality of Jiva's present question about the limbs of the Purush. These questions indicate that Shukdev should tell how the form of the Lord that Brahma saw is distinct from Jiva. So that distinction is established. Now, 12 and 13 questions are good for pure devotional service. Yavan kalpo vikalpo va yatha kalo nuniyate bhuta bhavya shabda ayurmanam chayat satah.
Also, please explain the duration of time between creation and annihilation and that of other subsequent creations, as well as the nature of time, indicated by the sound of past, present, and future. Also, please explain the duration and measurement of life of different living beings known as the demigods, the human beings, etc., in different planets of the universe.
Yeah. So he's asking about time factor and what is happening about their life spans in other places. Like other day, Revati Prabhu was very nicely saying that Brihad Bhagavatamrit is giving us how? Remember what he said? Very nice analogy he gave. What Prabhu was saying? Anyone heard the class or you were in center? Okay. He said that just as no news reporters, they go to the where some problem is happening and they say, अभी हम आपको उधर लेके जा रहे हैं हमारे संवाददाता से मिलिए. So then he starts speaking इधर ये सब हो रहा है. So Brihad Bhagavatamrut is taking us like that. Sanatana Goswami is taking us to all the places. You don't have to go there, just hear. Like news, what is there happening? What is their experience? What is their intention? Like that, he was very nice analogy he was giving. That we don't have to go there. We hear. So that's what he's asking for. What is their lifespan? What they do? All that. Yeah. Next translation.
O purest of the Brahmanas, please also explain the cause of different durations of time, both short and long, as well as the beginning of the time following the course of action.
Yeah. So this is about Paramanu and Paramahan time. So this is 3.11. Earlier was time duration of life. Now it is time itself as small and big. Smallest is Paramanu. So this is all 3.11 answer. These 2 questions are suitable for pure bhakti in order to become indifferent to all karma. Because time factor is going to destroy everything. Now the next questions are Karma Mishra Bhakti and Gyan Mishra Bhakti. Yeah, please read 14.
Then again, kindly describe how the proportionate accumulation of the reactions resulting from different modes of material nature act upon the desiring living being, promoting or degrading him among the different species of life, beginning from demigods down to the most insignificant creatures.
So he's asking about karma, right? How such actions and reaction takes place, what is the different procedures are, and in what proportion they act. All subject matters Parikshit inquires from great Brahmana Shukdev Goswami. So he's asking about karma, right? And it is good for karma Mishra Bhakta. Karma is ghana karmano gati, right? Krishna also says. So thus, unmixed devotional service is transcendental and it is called paravat. So Prabhupada also writes sometimes those comments written by Acharya. Read ahead.
To best of the Brahmanas, please also describe how the creation of the globes throughout the universe, the four directions of the heavens, the sky, the planets, the stars, the mountains, the rivers, the seas, and the islands, as well as the different kinds of inhabitants take place.
Yeah. So he's asking about different places. So this question is suitable for all devotees since all planets are shelter of various types of devotees. And devotees are in charge of those planets. Like Yamaraj is there, Varuna is there, different devotees. So there is a great plan behind the arrangement. Maharaj Parikshit requests the great sage Shukdev Goswami to explain all these authoritatively in accordance with Prabhupada. Now 16th onwards. Yeah, please read translation.
Also, please describe the inner and outer space of the universe by specific divisions, as well as the character and activities of the great souls, and also the characteristics of the different classifications of the caste and orders of social life.
Yeah, so first part is for Aishwarya Bhakta, like that. And second part is for Mishra Bhakta, Varnashrama, etc. $70.
Please explain all the different ages, the duration of the creation, and also the duration of such ages. Also tell me about the different activities of different incarnations of the Lord in different ages.
So different ages. Yeah. Now dharmas. Yes. Next.
Please also explain what may generally be the common religious appellations of human society, as well as their specific occupation, duties, and religion, classification of the social orders, as well as the administrative royal orders, and the religious principles for one who may be in distress.
Yeah. So all kinds of dharma is asked. So sadhan dharma is bhakti actually, which can be done by anyone and everyone. Nona. And then adarshi, raj dharma, etc. Apat dharma is asking all that. So Prabhupada says that sadhan dharma means devotional service. Hanuman can also do that. Carry that.
Kindly explain all about the elementary principles of creation, the number of such elementary principles, their causes, and their development, and also the process of devotional service and the method of mystic powers.
So different things are being asked. Now creation, not 24 elements. Etc. I have 20.
What are the opulences of the great mystics? And what is their ultimate realization? How does the perfect mystic become detached from the subtle astral body? What is the basic knowledge of the Vedic literatures, including the branches of history and the supplementary Puranas?
Yeah, so you can understand. He's asking now, he has nothing to do with all this, right? But he's asking for sake of, there are people who are sitting. He's asking that also. Yes.
Would you explain unto me how the living beings are generated, how they are maintained, and how they are annihilated? Tell me also of the advantages and disadvantages of discharging devotional service to the Lord. What are the Vedic rituals and injunctions of the supplementary Vedic rites, and what are the procedures of religion, economic development, and sense satisfaction?
Dharma, Kamya. So here Prabhupada says that a devotee can manage his material life and spiritual life very easily. Like that he says here, because of proper practice. Anyway, what is the second one? So big purpose. 22nd. Yes.
Many of these points are not actually the first points of most mystical when it comes to Stam giving practice this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Already many of them seems came there, but Prashna is asking
Like, can you give some example?
means he's asking about how the mystic lives his body and
So you are saying in Brahma Mukti and all, it is spoken already.
yeah,
So it appears that that is one process which Ashtanga Yogi is following, Brahma Mukti and Satya. So that is which verse? Let us see. That is just happened before. Yoga 20th verse. I think. Speak about the position and power achieved by great devotees, about the destruction of subtle bodies of the yogis, and about the conclusion of Vedas and Upavedas. So here let us see what Vishwanath Thakur is saying. No, there is not directly written, it is just written the description of destruction of subtle bodies suitable for Shanta Bhakti. Like that is written here. So this particular thing appears to be spoken earlier to some extent. But it will be more spoken also later also. I think Kapil Dev also speaks about it. Yeah. Kapil Dev also speaks how bhakti only can destroy the subtle body. So further details also are inquired. Otherwise, other things are not spoken much. Some things will be spoken because he is asking based on something he has heard. No? Like first three questions we saw. So that way he is asking. So 22nd, can you?
Yes. Please also explain how immersed in the body of the Lord living beings are created and how the infidels appears in the body, in the world. Also, please explain how the unconditioned living entities exist.
Infidels, Pashanda, how they appear. So this is question about sadhaka bhaktas who want to attain perfection in their sadhana. The first one describes the appearance of jivas who are merged with Lord and Mahaprabhu. So, a progressive devotee of the Lord must inquire from bona fide spiritual master how living entities merged in the body of Lord and again come back at the time of creation. So, we have to understand this destruction also. Bhutva bhutva praliyate. So that we get an understanding that this is what is truth. Right? So, and inquire means what? One has to understand what is happening. So one gets faith that yeah, this is what is going to happen, and I should not be entangled here. So Prabhupada is saying progressive devotee must inquire. I think this is the last question. Yatha atmatantro bhagavan vikridatyatmamaya visrujjava yatha mayam daste sashivat vibhu.
The independent personality God enjoys his pastimes by his internal potency. At the time of annihilation, he gives them up to the external potency, and he remains a witness to it all.
Yeah. So Vishwanath Thakur saying it is about Krishna. This question. So Atma Tantra, how Lord is independent. This is about Krishna. He says. So how he performs pastime starting with killing Putana, etc. So like that he says. So Prabhupada takes that. Now, what is point written by Vishwanath Chakravarti? See, Krishna word is not there indirectly. Right? But Bhagavan, and here the word is how independent Krishna, Bhagavan, the source of all avatar. So Bhagavan here means source of all avatar. How he plays, Kridati. So that's why it is Krishna. Krishna is the only person who plays all the time. Others, they play, may not play. Ekala Ishvara Krishna, Arasa Gopurti. So the Vikriditam is only for Krishna. So this word comes in Chatushloki also. So Krishna is only playing, and he plays by expanding different avatars. Right? So that's why Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that this is. Yeah, please read this portion. Describe.
Describe how the Lord carries out pastimes of creation, having given up the universe at the time of destruction. Or describe how independent Atmatattva Krishna, Bhagavan, the source of our avatars, performs pastimes starting with Kirit Putna using his Yoga Maya potency. His supreme position is shown when Mahavishnu steals the son of the Brahmana in order to see Krishna, and describe how, after creating special pastime of disappearance, Vishwachya, he remains indifferent to them, making pretense of being a witness only to those pastimes.
Yeah. So see, there are two meanings given. One is about Purusha avatars, and other meaning is Vrindavan pastime. So this is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So he does that in Chatushloki also. Because Atma Maya can refer to both. Maha Maya, Yoga Maya. So Atma Maya is Purusha avatar, and Yoga Maya is Krishna's Kiripotana and doing this Prabhash Leela, all that. How he withdrew the whole thing, disappearance pastime, which is very mystic pastime. Right? The Yadu's annihilation and Krishna's living, very mystic. That's what is being seen. Making a pretense of being witness. So Prabhupada says, Lord Sri Krishna, being Supreme Personality of Godhead and fountainhead of all other incarnation, is the only independent person. So he is writing from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Maharaj Parikshit desired to know more perfectly, for a pure devotee ought to know well. So it is not that he doesn't know all this, but he is asking to hear from a very advanced person, which is Shukdev. He wants to hear from his mouth what he knows. Yeah. Ought to know well.
But in this shloka, it is coming that in later on we came to external energy.
What is that?
This translation, at the time of annihilation, it gives them to the external energy potency.
Where
Let's see.
reading?
The translation Prabhupada is writing.
The independent personality of Godhead enjoys his pastimes by his internal potency, and at the time of annihilation gives them up to the external potency, and he remains witness to it all. Okay. Yeah, so that's why we have to read the commentaries. You can't fully grasp this translation. He has put both together. There are two meanings to the word Atma Maya. So one is the word creation, maintenance, destruction past, and one is about Krishna's past. So Prabhupada has put them both together. If you see that way, it is making sense. When you read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary, or you see, this is one. Now how? Because what are these three expansions? It's Krishna's expansion only. These three Vishnus are Krishna's expansion. Right? What is that? Mahan. Parma Samhita says. So Krishna is only doing through avatars, this creation, maintenance. So this is one meaning. And second meaning is Atma Tantraha Krishna means himself, source of all avatars. So Prabhupada has taken the independent personality of God, enjoys his pastimes by internal potency. So this is the second part. And now if you take this now at the time of annihilation, so let us take Krishna one. So it is which Leela? Martial Leela. Gives annihilation, gives them up to the external potency, and he remains witness. So that can be understood as he leaves his Virat Roop for sake of bewildering the people who have no faith. So that way it makes sense. At the time of annihilation, he gives them up all to external potency, and he remains witness to all. When you take annihilation as Krishna, and if you take annihilation as Mahavishnu doing, that is different. So that's why it's all mixed up there. So we have to decode that, what is being said. Because two things are being combined. Many times it happens like this. So how Prabhupada is doing that? And he remains witness. So actually, that's why the 3.1 chapter, even Vidura is getting clarity about these aspects from Vidura. These all aspects are spoken. Because he's crying for Yadus. He's really crying. And Vidura is really crying for Yadus. Because he just now went to Pravas. But Uddhava says, Prabhu, don't worry, this is just wind up. You are thinking all these things happen. This is just wind up head. They have just joined the pastimes of Lord. Khuन खराबा वाला कुछ नहीं हुआ है. Your son. He becomes passive. So, winding up of Krishna and his associates is the eternal thing happening there in the Leela. But what it is shown, what is described in Mahabharata is Khun Kharab. So, yeah, that is extreme importance. And that is done with the purpose to bring Kali. So that's the whole thing here. Annihilation, he remains witness. And his witness means what? Yes, now people will misunderstand my past tense, and then Vaishampayan will explain this past tense in Mahabharata, and then many people will explain that to people, and then more offenses will happen, and then Kali will come. This is how he is witnessing. You understand? This is the plan of the Lord. Lord is executing his plan. But Kali has to come now. Right? So this is all told in 3rd canto, 1st chapter about annihilation. And 11th canto. So now, having said that, now he is asking 24th question. So I was told that at 7 o'clock some devotees want to go. So you can happily proceed and just continue and complete this. If anyone wants to proceed, please happily proceed, no problem. You will continue and complete this remaining verses. Online also, anyone wants to proceed. Now questions are over. Now he is saying what I have not asked also you can tell. Sarvam etaccha bhagavan ucchato me purvashah tatvatorasya udhahartum prapannaya mahamuni.
Oh, great sage, representative of the Lord, kindly satisfy my inquisitiveness in all that I have inquired from you, in all that I may not have inquired from you, from the very beginning of my questionings. Since I was so much surrendered unto you, please impart full knowledge in this connection.
Yeah. So Tattvataha he wants to know. So it doesn't mean that he doesn't know, but he wants to hear from Shukdev Goswami's mouth. So this is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says very clearly. And this is the purport which I was telling, another important purport for. Yeah, please read this purpose.
The spiritual master is always prepared to impart knowledge to the disciple, and specifically when the disciple is very inquisitive. Inquisitiveness on the part of the disciple is greatly necessary for the progressive disciple. Maharaj Parikshit is a typical disciple because he is perfectly inquisitive. The one is not very inquisitive about self-realization. One need not approach a spiritual master simply to make a show of discipleship. Not only Maharaj Parikshit.
Yeah, that's okay. So see, here the importance is, it's not that you do IDC and accept spiritual master. There should be hunger. This is what Shastras are telling. And there should be some level of understanding that wealth, woman, and Swarga are not what I want. Then you go to spiritual master. Not that you stayed for 4 years, now you take spiritual master. No. That is not what Shastras are saying. There should be hunger. If one is not very inquisitive about self-realization, one need not approach spiritual master. So clear, Prabhupada is right. So now what is our responsibility is we have to awaken that in ourselves and whom we preach to. Because that is the driving force in right direction. Otherwise, if you accept for some other purpose, then you will face problems, they will bring problems for you. Because the goal is not that, seeking is something different one. So this is there all throughout Bhagavatam. 11 canto also same thing. So inquisitiveness on the part of disciple is a greatly necessary. For whom? Not every disciple. Which disciple? Progressive disciple. Right? So progress is greatly necessary, not just necessary. So it's very important because what subject matter we are dealing is not just subject matter which is superficial, which is sentimental. It is highly deep. What to speak of Bhagavatam? Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta is, I don't know how deep it is. That is Chetan Chetanamrita. So unless we are inquisitive and we make others inquisitive about it, we'll keep on dealing with all other things. So that's why Prabhupada is saying here. It's very, very important and we have to address that. So, and earlier we saw inquisitiveness leads to immunity from offenses. So that's how the first and the last, and in between there are questions. अत्र प्रमाणं हि भगवान् परमेष्ठि यथात्मभुः अपरेचान् तिष्ठन्ति पूर्वेजां पूर्वजैः कृतम्.
What is the book online?
25. Yes. Online devotees can read.
Great. You are as good as Brahma, the original living being. Others follow custom only, as followed by the previous philosophical speculators.
Yeah. So, Shuddha Goswami may say that previously you have understood all this from great sages. Why do you ask me again? So, please read it. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is answering. Among all the sages, this you read.
Among all the sages, definitely you are authoritative. Though I know these subjects, I ask out of longing for the answers coming from your lotus mouth. You are like Brahma, who by the mercy of the Lord became knowledgeable of the meaning of the self-evident Vedas. Others undertake actions after studying it and seeing what was done by previous knowers.
So, you saw what Parikshit is having great reverence for Shuddha Goswami is. You have learned by mercy of Lord directly from God. So you became knowledgeable of the meaning of the Vedas through Brahma. You are like Brahma. You by mercy of Lord become knowledgeable. But others, they study, and they ask what is this to others, and they become knowledgeable. But you are not like. So there is a difference. And I have heard from others, but I want to hear from you. So that is what is being spoken here. So what is written this BMS RV. So this is one lecture by Swami Sadhana Maharaj. You can hear that. Very deep lecture. He says, beauty and mystery of disciplic succession is that one reveres and venerates a person because whom he represents, not that person itself. So this is spoken on that verse where Ved Vyas is respecting Narada Muni as good as what? When Ved Vyas is contemplating, he is becoming despondent, then he is interested. Then who comes? Narada comes. Then he respects Narada, Argyam and everything. So there what is explained? As good as what? He Ved Vyas respected Narada as good as Brahma. Vidhivat. Vidhivat means according to the Shishtachar, but Vidhivat also means like Brahma. So that verse, Pradhan Maharaj speaking lecture. So he is saying that beauty and mystery of Parampara can be revealed when we respect and venerate a person not because who he is, because whom he represents. Then there is no personality cult. So this is a very deep principle. That's what is spoken here. At Shuddha Goswami, you are knowing because you have received it. You have not just studied books and that. Because you represent Brahma. So this kind of respect is what is important. So then the parampara message can descend. Not that my guru is highest. All other gurus, whatever they speak, doesn't matter for me. This is neophyte consciousness. like that he says. Because they are representing him. So that is what is said. So parampara system is not very narrow-minded that my guru and my like that. You should have reverence and respect for guru, but for what? Because he represents parampara. So anyone else representing that also deserves that much respect. That's what Bala Maharaj is saying. Not just Diksha Guru. All the respect is going to Diksha Guru. What about Shiksha Guru? We are representing. So we have to go by Shastra, not by the people. Shastra, what Shastra is saying. So that's why. So Prabhupada writes a brilliant purport. You can read on your own. But Prabhupada says these all people, they are all mental speculations. Kanada, Jaimini, Kapila, Ashtavakra, Gautama, they all study. And they know from them and their disciples know for them. But they don't know the clarity. Because their own way of thinking exactly like modern philosophers and mental students. Prabhupada is bringing them to modern philosophers. They are like that. Because what? Mental speculation. So difference between 6 parts and Shukdeva Goswami is that 6 pages mentioned above speak the facts according to their own thinking. But Shukdeva Goswami presents knowledge which comes down directly from Brahmaji, who is known as Atmabhu, born up and educated by the Almighty. So this Prabhupada writes there also. Vedic transcendental knowledge descends directly from personality of God. So this is what we have to understand. Krishna is speaking Bhagavatam through Narada, through Vyasa, through Shukdev, through Sut Goswami, and through others. Yes, Krishna is coming. Krishna is descending. That is the secret of receiving transcendental knowledge, parampara system. Okay? So that's the whole thing. Here elaborately Prabhupada writes, mind is a material and thus knowledge presented by material speculators is never transcendental and can never become perfect. Because they have different opinions. But intelligent person like Maharaj Parikshit do not recognize such mental speculators, however great may be. But hear from the authorities like Shukdeva Goswami, who is non-different from the personality of Godhead by the parampara system, as is specially stressed in Bhagavad Gita. So you see that principle of parampara is being established. So how one small line of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is so much fluffed by Srila Prabhupada. You see, this is the only thing which Vishwanath has written. How much Prabhupada has fluffed it? The mood of Parikshit. So that is the case. And now, in this endeavor, you should not worry about my difficulties. Okay, Parikshit. Shukdev may worry, what about your eating and sleeping? He said, don't worry. I don't have that problem now. Name sabah parayanti brahma na shanadami vivato achyuta piyusham tadvakyabdhi vinismritam. Online devotees can read. Yes.
O learned Brahmana, because of my drinking the nectar of the message of the infallible personality of Godhead, which is flowing down from the ocean of your speeches, I do not feel any sort of exhaustion due to my fasting.
Yeah.
O Brahmana,
done. Thank you. So he's telling out of concern that Sukdev Goswami might be concerned about his problem. So he's saying, no, I don't have any problem. You are making me drink. So Achyut Katha, the message. A very powerful statement. Yeah, please read that statement. First line. The disciplic succession.
disciplic succession from Brahma, Narada, Vyas, and Sukdev Goswami is particularly different from others. The disciplic succession from other sages are simply a waste of time, being devoid of Achyut Katha or the message of the infallible Lord.
Yeah, so other messages are you have learned in 4th chapter. No? He made such Shishya, he made different Vedic Vaishampaya, Paila, and all that. So that Prabhupada is saying. They are also disciplic succession, but they are waste of time. Because devoid of Achyut Katha directly. Okay, now last, what Sukdev Goswami? Read the translation, bro.
Sukdev Goswami said, the Sukdev Goswami being invited by Maharaj Parikshit to speak on the topic of Lord Sri Krishna with the devotees was very much pleased.
So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur very clearly says that Sukdev Goswami is confirming that all these questions are about Krishna. Right? So that's what Prabhupada, this is another very, very important purport. Please read this.
Bhagavatam can be legitimately discussed only among the devotees of the Lord. As the Bhagavad Gita was authoritatively discussed between the Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord and the devotees respectively. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the postgraduate study of Bhagavad Gita, can also be discussed between the scholars and devotees like Sukdev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. Otherwise, the real taste of the nectar cannot be relished. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya
Okay, that
Jatyas.
is
Sukdev Goswami was pleased with the Maharaj Parikshit because he was not at all tired of hearing the topics of the Lord and was more and more anxious to hear them on and on with the interest.
Yeah, so what is the important point Prabhupada is saying here, that Srimad Bhagavatam you can discuss with anyone you can discuss. No? New person also you can distribute it, no problem. You can do that. That's good. But the legitimate discussion on Bhagavatam can happen among certain level of devotees only. And unless that happens, you cannot relish Srimad Bhagavatam. That is what is told. Otherwise, legitimate means, I try to see the meaning is legitimate is according to law like that, right? So I was trying to reflect upon what is the meaning. So then if you see the description of that statement, Prabhupada is telling the qualifiers of the two people who are discussing. Legitimate discussion means not general discussion. What is happening in Bhagavatam, that discussion. Legitimate discussion, right? Because it's a postgraduate study of Bhagavad Gita. When Bhagavad Gita is clear, then you discuss Bhagavatam with that person. You can discuss on another level altogether. But new person, can you discuss that with your boys? No, not possible. That's what he's saying. Then he says, between scholars and devotees like Sukdev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. So now this is also bewildering statement. What Prabhupada is referring, whom he is referring to. Srimad Bhagavatam can also be discussed between scholars and devotees like Sukdev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. So among scholars also, among devotees also. So otherwise, the real taste of nectar cannot be relished. So when we want to study Bhagavatam for relish, this is very important. You have to go to Bhagavatam and discuss what is happening there. Many times we are very eager to bring it to our problem, and that is good. But what is happening there first? What is happening there? There we understand and our problem will not remain only. Because we are discussing our problem only. We can discuss our problem, but first discuss what is happening there. That's what is being said. Because their real taste exchange is happening. So bringing it to practical reality and all that is good. But the real discussion is what is happening there. So that is very important. And relish is there. Otherwise, all spiritual emotions are there in the characters of Bhagavatam. So we should discuss about them. That okay, what is happening with Prahlad here? What is happening with Lord here in their prayers? What is happening? Otherwise, we'll bring, okay, okay, the preaching moment we should expand and all that we have to do. No problem. But in Bhagavatam class, let us discuss what is happening there. Bhagavatam class is Bhagavatam class. It is not a preaching program. Preaching program is in the evening. Bhagavatam class is Bhagavatam. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. Real taste of nectar cannot be relished. Prabhupada is relishing that alone in the night. And that is giving him strength to do what he did in the day. That's what Gauram was saying. We are very eager to do what Prabhupada did during that day. But how many of us are eager to do what he did in night? This was told to eyelids, ISKCON leaders, someone. So that is what is there. The real relish is to be with Krishna, Harikatha and Harinam. That relish, then you can transform the whole world. That's what Prabhupada said, right? Earlier purports we saw. So that's why Sajatiya Snigdha Swatovara Sadhusa. So the discussion that I will show the statement later, but that's what is there. And it is clear also in this connection that Vishnu Raj should hear Bhagavatam from Brahmaraj and no one else, because others misinterpret the transcendental knowledge and thus spoils one's valuable time. Speculation means problem. Interpretation is problem. So we should never do it, actually. So please read this, very important. This is Prabhupada's statements about 5 potent forms of bhakti. Srila Rupa Goswami.
Goswami has recommended
Maybe
that
not Pro, I'll request someone else last now, 25 already. Yeah, someone else can read online.
Sure, Chitra.
Srila Rupa Goswami has recommended that one
अपनी और तार तो पड़ेगी.
Yes, sir. No problem. Srila Rupa Goswami has recommended that when association of God who are of the same mentality, form some association.
जी आपका क्या है क्लियर नहीं आ रहा है आप कीजिए कोई और पढ़ लेगा पढ़ो
Srila Rupa Goswami has recommended that one live in the association of those who are of the same mentality. Therefore, it is necessary to form some association for Krishna consciousness and live together for the cultivation of knowledge of Krishna and devotion service. The most important item for living in association is the mutual understanding of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. When faith and devotion are developed, they become transformed into the worship of deity, chanting of the holy names, and living in a holy place like Mathura and Vrindavan.
So it's very clear, Prabhupada. It's necessary to form some association which we have such discussions happen. That's why for a brahmachari it's all the more important, actually, to do this. That's why these courses, although they are austere, there is austerity to hear from anyone like me, you are hearing. But do the austerity because Bhagavatam is very nice. No? Anyone teaches doesn't matter. Just study Bhagavatam, discuss Bhagavatam with equal devotees, and then it's wonderful. Okay, I read 28 translation.
He began to reply to the inquiries of Maharaj Parikshit by saying that the science of the personality of Godhead was spoken first by the Lord himself to Brahma when he was first born. Srimad Bhagavatam is the supplementary Vedic literature and it is just in pursuance of the Vedas.
Yeah. So again, he is preparing to answer and then he is quoting. He is not answering. That's what Prabhupada says. To learn the science, one should take the shelter of representative of Srila Sukdev and follow the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit without foolishly attempting to interpret, thereby committing a great offense at the lotus feet of the Lord. So we have to just repeat in parampara. That's what is being said. Yeah, last or last, yeah.
He also prepared himself to reply to all that King Parikshit had inquired from him. Parikshit was the best in the dynasty of the Pandus, and thus he was able to ask the right questions from the right person.
Yeah. So he inquired aptly to the right person and he started answering. Preparing means what? He is not going to answer in sequence the way it is asked, but he is going to answer in a sequence which he wants. So he answers first 2 questions through Chatushloki and before that, and then he says, now I will answer all questions through 10 topics. That's how it goes. So that's what Prabhupada says. You can read that whole thing. Maharaj Parikshit asked. Yeah, I think here, maybe I will read. Maharaj Parikshit asked many questions, some of them very curiously to know things as they are, but it is not necessary for the master to answer them in order of the disciples' inquiries, one after the other. But Shukdev Goswami, experienced teacher that he was, answered all the questions in a systematic way, as they were received from the chain of disciples. And he answered all of them without exception. So he didn't forget, but he answered the way. What is that systematic way? It is 10 topics section. That systematic is the lens we should read Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the second canto, 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Questions by Infection. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Viramtaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much.
Actually, this,
Hare Krishna.
just,
Prabhuji, may I ask a question?
Just a minute. Here one devotee is asking. After that you can ask. Is it fine?
Okay.
this 10 topics means will start after second grade, like,
Yes.
so means the first grade, as you said in the morning, that jnana of someone avidya and like that. So,
No, it's Adhikari Tattva and Sadhana Tattva.
sadhana tattva.
Yes. It's both are lotus feet of the Lord.
Correct. So that is establishing it, and then the topics will start after this.
Yeah, because he said now I am going to speak 10 Lakshanas. So third canto is mainly Sarga. That's how Vishwanath and Sridhar Swami they say. Then fourth is Visarga, fifth is Sthanam, and so on. It goes on 10 topics, 10 cantos.
But that's what creation part is coming very clearly in this also. Right?
Yes, it is coming, but what is the context here? See, the difference in the context is this. There is 3 times creation here in second canto, 1, 5 and 10. But what is the context? First context is Dharana Shraya of Yogi. So it is spoken about Vidhi, the sadhan, how it is leading to bhakti eventually. Right? The second one is answering Narada's question and how this world came up and all that, that 6th question. And the third one is, you can see that, how Lord desires and then things happen, like that. 10. Now it will come in 10 chapter. So the context is different here. Context is sadhan tattva only. So that's why Narada is instructed by Brahma that you explain Srishti Lila and let people hear Srishti Lila. Shunvataha Shraddhaya Nityam. No, not that one. Not that Mayaya Varnito Amushya Ishwarasya Anumoditaha. Shunvataha Shraddhaya Nityam Maya Atma Namuyati. So this is spoken after the description of Srishti Lila. So there he is telling that we have to hear the Srishti Lila also with respect. So what is being spoken here is Vidhi, Abhidev, Sadhan. That is the context of speech. That yes, Avatar Leelas are important, Krishna Leela is important, but Srishti Leela hearing also important. So whole thing is what context? It is Vidhi. Whereas third canto, when you see, third canto is telling how first part is telling how a jiva gets entangled in matter. For that, Sarga is explained by Maitreya. And Kapila is explaining to get entangled from matter. So the context is different. Although like that you will see, but that's the whole thing. Shukdev is speaking in a particular way. Why Shukdev is speaking? We have to see the context. And who gives the context? He only gives the context. Where he gives the context? In the 10th chapter. So after that he speaks. So that way you will see. Srishti Leela is there in 11th canto also. Right? So that way we have to see. That context is different. Context is very important to understand. Okay. Yes, Priyavrat Narada Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is, as we know, at the end of the first canto, Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by Shringi, and he accepted his fate that, yes, I am going to die within 7 days. This is the will of Providence. So he went to the bank of Ganges and asked Sukadeva Goswami that what is the duty of a person who is about to die? What should he hear? What should he do? And Sukadeva Goswami at the beginning of the second canto said that, yes, your question is very glorious. Variane samte prashna krito loko ito mukha. He said that, and he said, Parikshit Maharaj, that I will explain to you everything that I have learned from my father Vedaved. So he was continuing the process of explaining Srimad Bhagavatam, as was asked by Parikshit Maharaj. So why there is a need of again asking Parikshit Maharaj some other questions to Sukadeva Goswami, explain this, explain this, explain this. He was continuing in a process. What is the need of again asking?
Okay, so if I understand your question clearly, let me express it. That you are saying that now he got the answers to the 2 questions. So why is asking so many questions again? Is that your question?
Yeah. Yes, yes. He was once he asked that what is the duty of what is the job of a person who is about to die.
Correct.
Parishit Maharaj Sukdev Goswami was explaining that in a simple flow.
Yeah, he
Uh,
explained in first 4 chapters na, perfectly. So nicely explained that Shaunakadi Rishi felt that Baba band ho gaya hai abhi. Then Shaunakadi Rishi started speaking in third chapter that tell us more what happened, what did he ask. So he had more time and he is going to hear about Krishna only.
mhm.
So that's what he's saying today, na, that now I have to give my body, now I want to fix my mind more on Krishna. I have given
Okay.
mamata, I want to give ahamta which is little bit remaining. So let me hear more and more about Krishna. So that's what is first 6 verses of this chapter, what we discussed is, he is asking those questions so that he will hear about Krishna more. And topics related to Krishna. Because he has time, na? 9, 10 has not yet happened. There is time left. So he's asking and he's encouraging Sukdev Goswami to go on speaking. Don't stop because Sukdev Goswami, you know how much time he stops at one place?
The time that is taken, the duration of milking a cow.
Yeah,
in
and
a
not
grass
for the
cow.
milk also, to deliver the people. So he is asking and he is showing his eagerness so that Sukdev can wait. Because Sukdev is very detached person. He is not going to wait there. Simply, now I got answer, now you take the juice. No, no, he is there. So Parikshit wanted to take his association. And the greatest way to associate with pure and advanced devotees is inquire from them. That's what he's saying. Now, I know these principles, but I want to hear from your lotus mouth because you are as good as Brahma. Because you, by mercy of Lord, you have been revealed all these things. So he is wanting to take his association. That's why he's asking these questions, Prabhu. Okay? So, and that's why he's giving assertiveness also now. Parikshit Maharaj is saying that, my dear Sukdev Goswami, earlier I had a problem when I was thirsty. But now I don't feel like that because you are making me drink Harikatha. So I have no problem. I don't want any break. Please go on speaking. I know you don't need break, but I know you are paradukha dukhi. So I am also not hungry or thirsty. Please go on. That's what was the verse we discussed some time back. So
Yes, sir.
that is his mood. He is trying to associate himself with Shukdev. And with that, he is understanding others. So he is asking other questions also. And one more thing which Acharyas say that why he is inquiring about Sushti Lila now? Because if he asks about Krishna now, because of separation from Krishna, he will become asthir. So first he wants to be steady for some time and then he wants to hear Krishna Katha. So this is also told in, I think, one of the chapters in second canto. So that is the predicament of Parikshit Prabhu. It is not just a show off for you and me. I will show that. Asthir, that's what Jiva Goswami says. That immediately, let us say, Shukdev Goswami starts speaking about Krishna, then he will go in problem. Parikshit will go in problem. Yeah. So he wants to be steady for some time. That's why he's inquiring about creation. Hey, you would have inquired about Krishna. No? So that is what Jiva Goswami is saying. He wants to be steady. That's why he's asking about Aishwarya of the Lord. Not directly asking, but he's telling, I want to hear Krishna Katha later. So that also is explained in one of the chapters here only. I think when he's asking the question to the Narada Brahma Samvad के पहले जो प्रश्न पूछे हैं that, but that is creation प्रश्न ना. That is the first question after the 2 questions are answered. 2 questions are answered in first 3 chapters nicely. Then he asks a question about creation. So there it comes. Srila Jiva Goswami says very clearly that he wanted to be steady. Otherwise, separation he will not be able to control and all that. So that way, that is the whole situation, bro. Does that help, bro?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Understood.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Guru. Uh,
Yes,
one
bro.
small question.
Yes, bro.
There
All
is,
small, big, all questions about Krishna are glorious. Yeah.
I thought it is got delayed, so I said that. So, in purport, it is said that when we have that Satovare means like-minded devotees discussion, then only we can release Bhagavatam.
Yes.
So, many time in preaching or we may explain Bhagavatam to others. And that since sometime it is said that Prabhupada said that is only Bhavananda. Preaching is the only Ananda is material birth. So what kind of relishment that is? That is not the relishment of Bhagavatam. Means why it is differentiated?
Yeah, interesting. Nice question. You are saying that actually Prabhupada has named one disciple called Bhavanand Prabhu. At that time only he mentioned that, right? All people were making fun of Bhavanand Prabhu. What is Bhavanand? No? Why your name is so? Is it? Then Prabhupada said that actually there is only one pleasure in this world. That is what? Preaching Krishna consciousness. Right? That is the only pleasure in this world. And then we are telling the new people, then that is pleasure surely. But here it is told about discussing with Swatovara and Snigdha and Sajatiya Ashaya. Without that, we cannot relish. So, what is exactly said here? Is that your question, bro?
So yes, so means other time we also relish sometimes. Means there is also relishment is there. Maybe the devotees who are hearing from us may not be knowing much, and we so is it on the ego platform only? Means whatever we are relishing or
No, no,
there
no,
is.
no. It's a fact. You are relishing wonderful. That when we are preaching, we are relishing, surely. So, what is preaching actually? It's Shravanam and Kirtan, hearing and explaining. So, that should be the relish. So, that is happening with certain people. Let us say you are preaching means they are apparently that you are trying to educate them. So, there is relish in that. But more relish will come when you directly discuss what is happening in Bhagavatam. That you cannot relish, you cannot share with them so much, right? Like Radhisham, I can give one example. Like we were together studying in Vidyapit. So it was so wonderful to study all these commentaries, and Radhisham was relishing, and those who are reading, they are relishing. But Radhisham always would say to me, "Ah, this is so nice, but you can't share this with anyone." Right? So many now also he says, Prabhu, you are that's very nice, you relish, but how much you can share this? I said, yes, Prabhu, that's true, but through few people you can share this. So this is a fact. When we are doing outreach to new people, we can't share these things. And we should do that outreach. It will please Prabhupada. At the same time, for us, the more relish will be the more deeper discussions on Bhagavad. So we should have that forum also. Along with that, it's like what Prabhupada says. No? I think that, what is that verse? Very beautiful words where it is told. Sarvato manaso sangam adau sangam cha sadhushu daya maitrim prashayam cha bhuteshwadha yathochita. This is 11th canto, 3rd chapter Sangam. So there you can read the purport. Here it says that among equals there is relish of Krishna consciousness. And daya means when you are preaching to the new people. So both have to be done. Yatha uchita. But not one. Only we just preach to new people and we are on top. No. Then we will come down after some time. That's what one Mataji said recently, which Mataji had come here. Brilliant classes she gave. No, so after that. What is the name of her? Devki Mataji. So I'm telling very wonderful, important things she said. So she had 3 spiritual masters. So earlier 2 spiritual masters left because of some reasons. So she gave brahmachari class, Kunj Bihari temple. In history, I think first time it would have been happening. So Lalit Madhav Prabhu was sharing with me. That I said, bro, first time in history such thing happened. She said, no, Bhagavatam topic only we continued. Envy and deeper relationships. Uh, she spoke about this verse one. What is that? How one should have proper relationship with three categories. Gunadika modam lipsit, anupurusham gunadamat, maitrim samananam vichit. So there she was speaking about equal association is very important. And she said that it's very likely that my two spiritual masters didn't have enough equal association. That's why they have to have challenges in their life. So equal association is very important in our Krishna consciousness as we make progress, because there we can be what we are. No, to juniors they see us Prabhuji, and seniors we respect them. But with equals we can be what we are. At least we can try to be, right? If we are in right spirit. So she was saying, and she was quoting Radhanath Maharaj. Radhanath Maharaj says that 60% association with equals 20% and 20. Like that she quoted. So my point, what I am trying to make here is, relish your outreach activities to the people, extend the daya of Prabhupada. But at the same time, you have some wonderful devotees who are your friends to discuss Bhagavatam in depth, which you cannot discuss with them. You can discuss with them after you relish here, after they are. So that is the whole point here. Prabhupada is saying that the nectar cannot be relished without this such discussion, legitimate discussion. So that is my understanding. Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Anyone else has anything? Hare Krishna. So wonderful. Pandurang Shan Prabhu has mercifully appeared to bless me. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hari Bol. Please correct me if something is missing or something you can add. Okay. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam.